Today we will talk regarding the one nice point in the first lecture that we have about how to design an effective application. Actually, I searched more on internet and find some set of good article that we're going to share with you. And one part of our lecture, we will discuss about this point. Just developing the software is one, but how we can see uh, and we can have the nice design application. It's another part of the topic that we are searching to learn. And what I think that um, this part it's even much more important than maybe learning just one software, because you should know how real design, how effective design can happen uh, with uh, with your application. And then when you design your application, try to have this rule. First of all, I should tell you that there is not any thumb rule to design the effective application. Means that nobody will say that if your app have this type of data, it's more demand. But there are some points. I want that you look it as the guideline or some uh, sample idea, which will help you to follow and having the nice app. Another point that you should remember or have it in your mind is that whenever we design an app, we are thinking for commercial part. We think the app something like WeChat, which is so many people will use it, like Dingtalk, that so many people will use it, and somehow they should pay for this app. Okay, then try to have this idea in your mind that your design app should have such a way or such a design that others will be ready to spend money for that. Anyway, let us see this step. What I'm going to talk for you, it's for first part, we just talk about the concept of development, outline the app, design consideration and platform, budget development, programming, graphic design, submission, approval, and update, and common pitfalls which we have in designing the mobile application. First of all, we should identify the purpose of our application or app. What the app that you will design do? You should at least specify the minimum functionality. Suppose, will the app perform a specific task or deliver information? First, we should have this borderline. And after that, most apps do one thing and do it well. Think like this. Your application should not have lots of parts, should not include lots of section, which even you as a user become confused how to use it. Avoid overly complex functionality or some process which um, force the user to come to next step, something like that, to do some small job. Your job should be straightforward, and by just one click or maximum two click, it should happen. For example, there is one planet application, Planet Doctor. This is one of the name of famous application, which in that provides the interactive diagnostic for plant health problem. Suppose you have some plants, you have some trees, some garden in your home, and you want to diagnostic the problem of them, but with the help of this app. The aim of this plant doctor is that which I will refer inside today lecture more to that. Users submit their text and photographs to assist the diagnostic, and this app will give them the solution. Suppose they should take care of which part of the garden more to have the better, I don't know, or planet. And for my farming job, this app will be something like the assistant or expert will give them the nice guideline to follow and have the good gardening job. Um, then, in the second step, identify the intended user of your app. Who will use your app? What is the target of audience? And is app free or payment? Then, if your app is free, it has one story. If your app need payment, it's another story. Nowadays, what people will learn, they learn that some part of the app they make it free and absorb the users, and then for the app more advanced and high technical part, they ask for the money. And remember this in your mind that who is the audience and your target. Suppose user of that planet doctor, as I say, it's farmers, gardeners, homeowner, landscapes professional, country agent, planet quatrains worker, professional, and scientist. Today, the user inside of in 14 foreign countries and 41 states in USA just use that specific uh, app. Then we should know if we say that my audience is suppose who is real audience for me children. Then if it's children with which age adults or various level of education, suppose educated people or uneducated people. Suppose for uneducated people, maybe drawing more picture will help them more. For educated person, more text will work. And very various level of expertise, type of devices they have. They have Android or they have iPhone, which type of device they have, and nationalities and language translation. Now, I want to give you one more example. Suppose you see the Baidu app. hmm? It's very nice. See, simply it can translate the Chinese to English and English to Chinese. All of us use it. Okay. Maybe some of us use it rarely, but at least all of us have 1 day, 2 day experience with Baidu Translator. But now you see that how what is the main language of that? What is the option in the language that it can support? All are uh, there are the point that when they design this app, they think and they thought that they should have in their application. Then your app and its design should appeal to and serve you the target of audience. Appearance, colors, function, and task all should be in the way or such a way that absorb and will be compatible with the audience capability. Um, if we want to more talk regarding the device which app should be will deliver, you know, web with the native app, phones with tablets, iPhone and Android, all are the concern when you will design your app. Think suppose visibility inside the tablets with the bigger uh, display into, and then you compare this to the mobile phone which screen is less, then your program should be compatible with both device and maybe with the inches. If suppose the display is big, then uh, if you have less text it means that your face of your app is not complete. Or if you put lots of text and your screen is small, then you will see that this is another problem which we don't know what to do. The choose determine the programming language and coding. Which one we will use, Android or iPhone, phones or tablets? web apps, and native apps. Say suppose we have one example of Google Cloud Platform, which they build the APIs with the Google Cloud Enterprise. You know that APIs is the abbreviation of Application Programming Interface. Then in the multi-platform, multi-cloud, and multi-screen world, it's often important to think about the building apps first and then using the shared back to connect the client application later. Google Cloud Endpoint provides developer with a simple way to create, expose, and consume API served from App Engine. You can read more to get data about this Google Cloud Platform program. One more thing that you should remember and you should keep it in your mind is your memory and space consideration. Uh, all of you now aware that, and because you have the experience with the various applications, the app which is heavy or it has the big size, generally it's very difficult for them to use, and they are not much more successful in the term of absorbing users. Then should remember that app size is limited only by the space available on the device, and there is no recommended size for app. Suppose if I tell you 50 MB, 10 MB, Y giga even, but capacity of your app, I'm wrong. It should be um, based on the user's prior application. But we want to have the least memory, remember that. Another thing which is, or another concept which is more important about app development or a concept of development is name of the app. The app name should accurately reflect the function of app. I don't know um, the real meaning of WeChat, which is Chinese. They say Wing Wishi, but name of Dingtalk. It's nice, you know, Ding and talk or call and talk, something like that. This much easy. Or some other apps. Suppose we can name some application like Cam Scanner, means that camera which can scan your document. The app name should be unique if it's possible and not replicated the name of others app. Okay, your name should not be duplicate from others work. Then outlining the draft of the app is another part that we will speak for that. Creating the draft step chart is one of the important part for any design, specifically for the apps. Means in app design or process of app design, we should list the part as well as relation between the parts, which we call it step chart, and also page chart which sketch and compose the appearance of various pages. Specify the graphics and navigation buttons need for the app function and specify the output and scales and calls. One point that we should remember in our design consideration is that design the app for finger, not for a mouse. What does it mean? It means that see the distance that you need for the button, see the size that you need for your button. It should not be very small that just you can click it by the mouse. Think that your finger wants to touch that part. Then in that case, you will see that generally they say that 44 by 44 pixel for bottom is enough and 6 button maximum per width of the screen. This is something like standard things. Beside text input, people do not like to type, so keep typing as the minimum. Text output, people generally do not like to read, So keep the text as the minimum unless your app is designed primarily to deliver the information about the text. And now for the budget development, we should see that how much will it cost to develop the app. Personal with contract developed by hour or by project development that cost per hour vary among countries. Suppose per hours till $20 in India to $60 in USA and 100 in USA for the technician, or maybe this price is more. Just compare the ratio. Suppose in the plant doctor application development and deployment, cost is 80 hours at the US rate for each platform, iOS and Android, for a total cost of $9 million or $4,800 for each platform. It's not a uh, less amount of the money. The other part that we should remember is programming. We contract the following companies for the development of the planet vector. Suppose in them they use app development company and graphic design company, which numbers and data is there. But remember that sample page from this app is I put on the following screen. But remember, developing app is writing a program using the specific programming language suited for a particular device. Therefore, a developer should be familiar with the software and programming language. See, this is the Doctor Planet, and now you can see that what is the benefits of which part this application have. Graphic design, it's one more point that we should consider when we design our application. See, mainly most of or big number of application which are nowadays used and they are in more demand. It's regarding the graphical design that they have. Appearance of the app, it's very important and should be high priority with sufficient budget provided for graphics. Means graphics design is best one profession. Suppose some cost in some European countries like Romania is 200 to 300% per screen, and USA for 500 per screen. Now you will see the difference. One can expect much higher cost for the unique design of multiple screens, and the cost for the Planet Doctor graphics was per page was $300. What we should consider in our graphic design. Colors and color theme, I mean background and bottom is more important. And they should have art, they should have text, they should have layered balance and laying, layering. All are the part which we should consider and think when we design the graphical job. Now you will see that Planet Doctor's output before professional design, after professional design, before professional design, and again after professional design. Now you will see that it changed, and somehow at the end stage, it's become more nice than usual part. Next point is submission and approval, which in that the app submission process varies by the platform. And just 1 minute, please. Yes, here we talk. And I tell you that submission process varies by the platform. Suppose if you use the Apple, you should check for no crashes and the app does not what it say it will do. The minimum information contents may be need. Okay. Suppose if developer account for the Apple developer license is 100 per year, but in Google developer license is $20 per year. Note for the sell apps payments to the Apple or Google is 30% of your profit, and free apps do not in charge this charge. Okay, just have some idea. Maybe these numbers are even not much more accurate, but anyway, they are important to compare. Say, suppose the Google Developer Consulate, which can help you to do the submission and approval, and um, also the Planet Doctor about the Google Developer Consulate, which it shows the statistics of the use and person who paid for that and use it. This is the app description and download page at the iTunes store for the Planet Doctor app. Just I pick this as the sample. It's not the maybe not the very famous app, but it's very useful and idea behind that is very nice. For submission and approval, we need some updates because updates for apps may be required. A new version of phones emerged onto the market, and the new phone may have the update or newer various versions of software which requires app updates. App developer should prepare for this eventually. Suppose for this planet vector had to be update for use on iPhone 5. If we want to conclude or have the common pitfalls, we should remember that do not build an app without having the intended device, nor without having appearance using the device. The environment, menus, and appearance differ among the device. Have a very clear idea of what the app will do. Third step is that develop the flow of the process clearly and precisely. Ensure that your budget is sufficient to completely fund the development of the app and think to have some professional job for the application that you will design. These points that I gather, and I will continue in the next lectures also, maybe two, three lecture, I will talk about this point, or some clue or some light which may help you to design the better application for even your task or for some more professional ways. Okay, the first part for the first part is okay now. If I think you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, we will do the attendance of lecture, and then after some rest, we will join the next lecture, which I will talk regarding the app inventor. Please turn on your camera. Part, which is the practical part of our lectures. Do you have any question?
No, sir.
Please, if you have any question regarding the task, regarding the subject, this subject, please ask very fast, and then we can start for
No,
the second. No, Monshi, do you have any question? No.
no, sir.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Well, I don't know what did happen with Reza today. You should follow him because he didn't join even the morning lecture. Anyway, Roy, is it okay?
Lakshmi, maybe Reza is not well. You feel something bad. As I know, he told me.
Okay, okay. I will talk with him in private. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just I need the acknowledge from Roy to start the lecture. But please hold on because I converting the part. Okay, let me cancel this. Okay, I wanted to load means that use the time and load the app inventor first part, but let it be. Let it be. No need to do. We can do it later on and then enjoy it. Okay, for the second part of our lectures, uh, we are going to use our software. Means that the IDE that we use, and we know it as the App Inventor, MIT. And I didn't focus on your task. Actually, I put for this time after today lecture, I will do and give the mark for the App Inventor task. But uh, I think that most of you enjoy the working with this simple and nice software that, with the help of a school, this semester we select. And I think it's more efficient even somehow than Android Studio. But anyway, Android Studio is also good. There is no point uh, to complain about it. Anyway, uh, a screen is visible. Can we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well. Uh, Today I'm going to discuss the various part of the App Inventor environment. Specifically, I want to talk regarding the user interface part, and then we have two practical part that I will describe for you how to build the app. And then we have one task, which we know it as the task, I think, number three, which I'm insist of doing, insist of all of you do and write more about this task. And soon you will have one booklet for the all the tasks that are design uh, UI. And you know, because whenever I will teach, I will change the task. In 2 3 lectures, it will take time, and suddenly you will see all the task will come out. Then be ready for that. That suddenly I will do some magic and give you all the tasks. Anyway, we talk about this app inventor environment. After entering that, there was some part which we call it my project, which in that we have a start new project, save project add, checkpoints, and import export, which is more good when your project is saved before. I wanted to test this. Import the K store, export the K store, delete K store, which we work later on them. And then there was one more part, which is regard the AI comparison and reset connection, which in reset connection and AI one, actually out of China, the students who are out of the China, this QR section will not work well. But when you come back to China, it's 100% work because I test personally in my office last time when I used this. And but now I'm in Iran, it's not working well. I think it's due to the location of and maybe the IP address that I am. But anyway, other part of the software is working well. And we have some part which is in the help part, which is about weak spot enhance and download the AI companion in the help section. If we go again around in the gallery part, you can find uh, some ready application and design which previously people put it there, and then you can see and enjoy even the other design part. Um, Please remember this that some parts are added in Chinese version, which maybe in the software part is not there. Just I bring the software part or the version of the app inventor, and then here you will see that from user interface, some part is added in Chinese one that maybe in the main software is not there. Then easily you can um, log into the Chinese version and enjoy it because it's also free and worldwide you can use it. I made actually this table myself when first time I start to work with this software, especially when I focus on the Chinese version and try to list out the app inventor part and environment. You see that in the user interface, we have some part which we will talk today, layout, media, and drawing and animation, maps, sensor, social, storage, connectivity, Lego, Mindstorm, and experimental Cloud DB and Firewall DB that maybe we are not talk more regarding that EV3, but I will try to give you some idea about them because mainly it's good for the Lego robots and that part. But um, these are the whole environment or whole part of the environment which we had. We will discuss uh, this environment during our course, and then based on them, we will try to give the task that you also practice them. Uh, anyway, let us continue and start with the first user interface section. This is also again the same, but see here, as it's in the Chinese version, you will see that drawing and animation was last, and storage and connectivity. Now you will see artificial intelligence is added, cloud maps is there, enhancement, social, colon 3 column, Kelvin column. You will see that extension. All these are the parts which added in the Chinese one in the palette. Then maybe now you will understand that why I insist you to use the Chinese version and what was the benefit on that. Okay, um, let us start from the user interface palette that mainly for the first task you also use it, but in the user interface because this is the we can say the main part that we need for our app. Maybe you will use it more and more during all this course and also in future. This part is conclude, sorry, include the bottom checkbox, date picker, image, label, list picker, list view, notifier, and so on, which we are going to cover these parts today and then have some idea about them. If I want to talk for each components of this user interface, maybe it will take more than 1 or 2 days to talk because there are lots of parts there. It's available on the App Inventor webpage, or if you want, I also can give you copy paste it into the doc file, and then you can use it. Let us see. We will see which part, which type of work is better, copy paste or read from the App Inventor webpage. You should remember that each part, especially in the software, not in this web page, it has 3 parts. One is that properties, one is that events, and another one is methods. For properties, these are things that you can change on the design, and events are the part that you can change inside of the block or the on the blocks or um, the coding section of the app inverter. Suppose the first part of this user interface is button. which in that its ability to detect the click and many aspects of this appearance can be changed, as well as whether it's clickable, it's enabled, its properties can be changed in the designer or in also into the block editors. Suppose in the properties part, you can make it visible, enable, clickable, yes or no. See, text color you can change. Text itself can be changed. Font size, width, height, background color, shape, as well as font type, space, and font bold and font italic. All are the properties which you can change inside of the bottom. And if we use search for the event which can be created or used by the buttons is click, means that it indicate the user tapped and released the button. Got focus means that cursor moved over the button, so it's now possible to click. Indicate in the long click means that indicate that the user held the button down. Lost focus means that indicates that the cursor moved away from the bottom, so it's now no longer possible to click it. Touch down indicates that the bottom was pressed down. Touch up indicates that the bottom has been released. These are the events which we can have for the bottom. Other part, as I show here, is switch, which these switch components can detect the user taps and can change their Boolean stage in response. Uh, they are identical to checkboxes except in appearance, and switch have on on means true state and off as the false state of the properties of this switch. And a switch components rises an event when the user tap it to toggle between the state. It means that you can push it or make it on and off, and then with this manner the program can understand that it's pressed or no. Uh, Another part for this user interface is the label section, which are the components used to show the text and enable display text, which is specified by the text property. Uh, in the text property and other properties, all of which can be set in the designer or block editors, control the appearance and placement of the text. We will use these, and there are lots of things that can be attached to this text label part. Suppose is background of that font bold, font italic, font size, font typeface, HTML contents, HTML format, has margin, height percent, text alignment, text color. It should be visible. What's the width, and what is the width percent. Uh, these are some specification that you can use with the label system.
ইয়ে যদি আমি অন করি এখন অফ আছে অন করলে ইয়ে তো Xiaomi এটা ইয়েতে আসে না মডেল আসে না আসে কিন্তু এখানে মডেল আছে কারণ কোন ব্যাপার তো গাইড নামে ইয়ে মানে তুই এইভাবে সেটিং করে
Okay.
আমি গাইডটারে আবার Xiaomi করতে চাইতেছি
ও মানে কোম্পানিটা চেঞ্জ হয়ে গেছে আবার
কোম্পানি এটা যদি ব্যবহার করে ইউজার যাতে
I don't know. If you can turn it off, sorry.
username. It is
আর ওই যে তারপরে তারা তুই কেন ইউজ করছ এটা ইউজার না আর তুই কেন
স্বীকার করে না
আমরা আবার কোম্পানি নাম
Okay, just there was lots of noise from Condicor. Then I turned him off because it's not working. Either can we continue? Is it audible or no? Okay, then
Okay, sir.
okay. Please, this is my request that whenever you will sit like me, please make your environment calm that you can study. I don't know what will happen in his place, that there was some fighting in his place. But anyway, uh, can we continue, Roy? Okay. Anyway, the I talked regarding the label part. The next part that we are going to see is the image part, which are the components of displaying image and the basic animation. We worked with this part last time. The picture to display and other aspect of image appearance can be specified in designer or in the blocks editor. Simply you can drag this and put it in the screen part, and then you can do loading the image in that as the previous task we have done. It can be some animation, which is the limited form of the animation can be attached. Some a small GIF image can be there. Some clickable height percent, a specific picture, one fixed picture. Rotational angle can we have a scale picture to fit scaling, visible and width percent also can be as the properties of this part of user interface. We have one event for this image, which is click, and it's this event that occurs when image is click. Um, there is some event parts which are not mentioned in the even app inventor website, something like radio button or something like animation image, which when I test them, it's very simple. It's not difficult. For radio button, it's little bit like the switch, and for animation image also, it's very near to the image. Difference is that it can be animation and it can be changed. Then some new parts here we have. The next thing is checkbox, which it has some sample I put here, some surprise sample. Checkbox can be detect user taps and can change their Boolean state in response. A checkbox component rises an event when the user taps it, and there are many properties affecting its appearance that can be set in designer or block editors. This part also have some event like change, got focused, and lost focused. Which when user tap there and release the checkbox, there is some event. When user focus means that focus the components, we have the got focus. When stop being the focus components, we have the lost focused events for that. The other components is date picker, which is very nice. You can have the date and something like calendar if you need in your application. You can use these. In these, when you will click on, launches the pop-up dialog to allow the users to select the dates on some calendar part, some Gregorian calendar. Date and types are manipulated using the method in the click components. And when you something like, suppose you have the form and you want to put the date and select the date and time, you can use this date picker and put it there. We have some events for that, something like after date set, got focus, lost focus, touchdown, and touch up. These are the events and method, something like Launch picker set dates to display, year, months, day, and set the days to spray to display for mean administrative job. Like that, you can set it and use these components for your application. And working with that is not difficult. I think for the next task, mm, I will give you the task based on these components. Mm, because now I wanted you focus on another part. That is why I didn't give you the task for this part. But one more nice part we have here. This is the list picker, which in that a button that when click on display the list of text for the user to choose among. The text can be specified through the designer or block editor by setting the elements from string properties to their string spread. Uh, and for example, you can have choose one, choose two, choose three, or by setting the elements property to list in the blocks editors. Setting properties shows filter bar to true will make the list searchable. Other properties affect the appearance of the bottom's background and whether it can be clicked on means that enable or no. There is lots of part with the list picker that you can do it. That is why I tell you that there is lots of job if we want to just focus on this part. You can specify the text for that. You can specify the text which will be in italic with the font italic, font size, font types, height, selection, text alignment, visible, non-visible, all can be tune and work in the properties section very nicely, and you can use them. But main part which we are using is the events that we use with the list picker, that after picking is one event, before picking, got focus, lost focus, touchdown, touch up are the events that we can use in this list picker. And the method is opens, which is opens the list picker as through the user click on it. Mm, one more part, as you will see here, I bring us in the palette. This is the list view. This is visible components that allows to place a list of text element in your screen to display. The list can be set using the elements from string properties or using the elements block in the block editor. Uh, Remember that the components will not work currently on screen that are scoreable if its height is set to fill the parent. Remember that. And in these um, more than properties, we important part is event, which we can arrange after picking. Uh, oh, after picking. You know, in some application, you saw that there are some advertisement or some notifier. Suppose you- after click the exit, it will give some notification that you close the app, something like that. This is happened by notifier components which display the alert message and create Android log entire through an instrument of the methods. In this, you can have background color, means specify the background color for alerts, not dialogues. Notifier length, which specify the length of time that the alert is shown, short or long. And text color, we specify the text color for the alert. After choosing, means the choice is that event after the user has made a selection for switch choose dialog. After text input, choose the cancel, the text input cancel. All are the events and methods we can use with this notifier job. Even we have more part for these which you can use inside for your program. One nice job that we have here is password text box. which in that, suppose you want to put a password for your application. Simply, you can use it. If user enter the password, text box component, which hide the text, that has been typed in it. The password text is same as ordinary text box component, except that it does not display the characters. And you can get or set the value of this text box before and then compare it. Because still I didn't teach you the conditional part, I will not give you the task on this, but keep it in your mind. Later we have some nice idea how to develop based on this password textbook. We have some event like got focus and lost focus, and then method, which it has the request focus on this element. One more nice part we have, which it's a slider. This part may use in your application, especially when you want to move up and down, something like that, and or you want to some specific application. This class will display the slider, and a slider is the progress bar that adds the draggable thumb. You can touch the thumb and drag left, right, set the slider thumb position. As the slider is dragged, it will trigger the position change event, reporting the position of the slider thumbs. The reported position of the thumb can be used to dynamically update another component's attributes, such as text boxes, font size of a text box, or the radial of the box. The slider use the following default value, means that mini value, maximum value, and thumb position, which I mentioned here. And somehow you can change it, but I will advise you to have based on the mobile or cell phone screen that you want to use. A slider components can also display the dialog with a list of elements, and these elements can be set in designer or blogger editor by setting the elements from string properties to comma spread list of the value. For example, choose one, choose two, choose three, or by setting the elements properties to a list of the in the black editor. A spinner, it does not generate after selecting event, and consequently it's useful to make the first spinner item to be a non-choose like. Maybe we use this spinner in some uh, special design part, but we have it. Text box, which is one of the most important and useful part components, and the initial or user enter text value in the text part is the text property. If text is black, you can use the hint properties to provide the users with a suggestion of what to type, and the hint appears as when text in the box. The multi-line property determines if the text can have more than one line for a single line text box. The keyboard will close automatically when the user press the down key. To close the keyboard for multi-line text boxes, the app should use the hide keyboard method or rely on the users to press the back key. The numbers only property restricts the keyboard to accept the numeric input only, and other property affect the appearance of the text box. Remember, these are the points which we should have in our mind when we work with the properties section of the text box. And text box are usually used with the bottom components, with the user clicking on the button when text entry is complete. Remember, if the text entered by the user should not be displayed, you can use the password text box instead of this text box. Um, we had date picker. Now we have the time picker also, which is the bottom that when click on that opens the dialog to allow the user to select the time. Date and time are manipulated using the method in plug components. We have web viewer, which in that you can enter the web page, and by that simply you can open some specific web page. And if you are at uh, the URL there, simply you can read. I will not read you all these points. You can read it. These are the main point which I gather for web viewer, and maybe later you can read it. But anyway, if you don't read also, there is no problem. Just need to remember that you should give the uh, address or URL, your target URL there, and then it will open it. Okay. Till now, the first part of user interface is finished. Now we go for, I will describe you two applicable point or some nice point, and then I will open my app inventor and tell you to see how to work with them, which I wish that you will enjoy them. First thing is that suppose we want to make the app which have the multiple screen. What we should do? Okay. Suppose I now we learn to have just one screen. If I have multiple screen, what should I do? Very simple. On the top of our ID, just click the add screen. With the add screen, it will ask you for the name of the screen and then OK, it will generate. And then if I want to remove, very simple, select the screen and do the remove screen. Most of the time people want to rename the first screen as the or call it as the home button or home screen. We can now rename like this and make it. We will see this just in few minutes later. Then if I want to, I make the screen. Now the next task is that I want to transfer between the screen. What should I do? Very simple. I will make one button, and when I click it in the screen, in the what we can say in the block section, I will tune like that. Means that open another screen with the name is screen one. Now my target is clear. My input is also clear. It said that when I press the button one, the screen one should be open. Okay, very nice. That was the first thing that I wanted you to know. Now, before I give you the task, I want you to see some uh, new or some good point regarding the this um app inventor. Let me share with you my desktop that you also see. Can you see my desktop? Then if I scan, it should go okay. Now it take the permission from my side on my phone. Yes. Again, this one is also delete. Now, suppose I'm going to enter this button here. Okay. Nice thing is that, and I have more button. Button one, button two, button three. Okay. Now the text inside the button, I can change it here. See, this is suppose I can put um, exit. Okay, I put it as exit. But really, this bottom name is still bottom three. Where should I change? I should change it here. Select and change it. Old name and new name. In the new name, I will put it exit. Then what will happen? If I go for the block section, come with me here in the block section. And suppose if I select this button, means that exit number 3. Now, whatever code that I have for that is so that when exit kill it, huh? Suppose, simply then I can do it. No need to memorize what was the action. I knew that this key will going to exit the, suppose my screen or something like that. See, just keep it, put it here. Okay. What else I can do if you see that button 1, button 2, button 3, but now I'm sure that there is no confusion for me that which key should do that. This is one point. Okay, have it in your mind. Another one, another things that was a screen. See, here I have two screen, which I add with add screen. If I have more screen, simply I can do more screen. See, add a screen. Then he said that screen 3. Instead of screen 3, suppose I will put home. And then, okay. If I put the OK one, now I have 3 screen, which the last one name is home. I think my net is little bit slow now. Now I'm in the home. And then in home, I will put one key. Okay. Rename this key. Put it as return. Okay. And then after put the return, okay, I also put the text, put the name change as return. Okay. Now the name is also return. Then in the block section, in the home screen, which is different than screen 1, screen 2, I will put return. And then suppose line click, when I have the line, what I want, I will come here in the control section, in the logic section, math searching for the part that when we click the home section, we should return back to our main place. Where we should find it, I give you the example here. See, I will say that open another screen. Okay. Then here again, come back to the return section. Little bit slow now, but wait, please. Yes. Say get call. Return. But see, it's not match. Then it's not the proper part that we need. Just wait. Okay. You should go and find the return screen. Return screen. Simply we should find it, but anyway, no, don't want to waste time. But okay, if you want to find it for the another screen, shape is like this. Feature programming to switch the screen is there. You should find this as this figure, and then when you press it, you will see that you will return back. That was one point. Another thing that I wanted to teach you today, we have one more part here, which I didn't put in my PPT, but here I will teach you. This is the layout that we have, means that the arrangement of the key. Okay, you should put it here, and then suppose now I want to change the arrangement of my key. Okay. Then if I select like this and just put it inside this box, that was in the vertical mode. What should I do if I want it in the horizontal mode, something like this? Just I go and select this layout, and then based on this layout, I will arrange my key. See one. Now the next one will go there. Then third. Third one will go there. How we should know that how many we can arrange here? If you come here for the layout section, it will specify that which rows and how many rows and how many columns you need. See here, suppose here. Yes, you can put the background for that. You can put the alignment for that. Uh, and you can set your uh, layout based on what you want. Then now we don't have that problem that we say that just one means that if you want to put them in row alignment or with the column alignment or any alignment that you need, simply you can just drag it and put it here and then change the width, suppose, of this box. And you should work with this actually layout section. This is the second things that I wanted to teach you. And then now let us go for the task number 3 that we have. In task number 3, uh, what is your task is this. Can you see the image? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay. 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 See, this is your task. I want that you made one login page, and when I press the login image like that, you should go for next page. In next page, you have back, which is come back to the first page. Next, which is can go to the page number 3. Okay. And then here, do whatever you want. Put that music part is fine. But see the background, two photo you have, one is ahead, one is backside, and university logo, and at the top you have JXUT music like that. And it's good to test and see the alignment of the key. See, suppose I use the alignment at the bottom like this. It's not at top, it's at bottom. Back and next you have, and one space you have between them. And page means that I change the screen to as the page to. I put some label text here, some key I put here, and I made some screen. Slowly, we are going to develop the nice application, and then we will see how we can simply design the application which even can be used better. Uh, I will share this screen for you on our group. Please try to solve it before our next lecture and send it for me. You should send document as well as PPT part for this task and like this. If you don't have any question, we can small, but no problem. First part that little bit small. Any question?